guys, and welcome to another episode of Quick Tips. Today we are looking at transforming a vocal into a kind of megaphone sounding kind of broken PA thing using Slate All Access Pass. Now, you can do this really quickly with just a filter, but I'm going for a very particular kind of sound with this, and I thought I'd share how I got there. So you can do this with Slate All Access Pass. I've done a similar one for Sound Toys, basically trying to achieve the same thing. Sounds a little different. Every kind of plugins you use are going to sound a little different. You just kind of tweak them to your liking. But this is basically what I'm doing in this song, and I created it with Slate, so this is how it goes. So what we've got here is Virtual Mix Rack and a shit ton of plugins. Now, like I said, you don't have to go this extreme, but this has achieved what I wanted to. So what I'm going to do is play you the section first. Then we'll solo the vocal, and I'll go through what I did.
Running fast like a car in a hurricane. Broken bottles at my feet, can't feel the pain. Blood pumping hot through these broken veins. This highway's meant for the insane.
Most of the distortion is coming from London and Hollywood, and a little bit from the delay. We also have VCC channel, which is off, so I can get rid of that. We also have 401 and FG 1116, 116, whatever. It's the 1176 blue. So let's just start off with what we're doing with the modern blue. That is kind of leveling the hell out of the signal so we get more consistent distortion. Because this effect is kind of meant to be that kind of broken PA megaphone kind of thing, the dynamic range is usually extremely limited in what we're trying to emulate. Now, these preamp plugins are great, but they're meant to be more hi-fi preamps. And even though they're tube preamps, because they're hi-fi, they actually have decent dynamic range, and they don't just distort and completely kill the dynamic range. That's what this compressor's doing. So then when we feed it into distortion, we've got a bit more of an even sound. Then London is completely saturating it, and then Hollywood saturating it some even more, but in parallel, just so we've got a little bit of clarity. Then this EQ is cleaning it the hell up. Air EQ is adding a whole lot of air, but also cutting down a lot of the high end. So what the air kind of does is it's boosting these kind of high mids a little bit to kind of give you clarity, but we're not got all that extra harmonic content because we're doing a pretty severe high cut. As you can see here, it's kind of a resonant high cut at 18 slope, and then some more compression just to even it out. So what I'm going to do is I'll turn off the repeater so you can hear this, and I'll turn every single section on. So let's just turn it off. It's all in solo at the moment. So this is just the vocal, nothing on.
Running fast like a car in a hurricane.
By itself, of course.
Broken bottles at my feet, can't feel the pain.
So if we put London on, you can hear just what one distortion module does.
Running fast like a car in a hurricane.
Now you can hear as I get quieter, you lose the distortion. So we run it into Hollywood. So I'm going to turn that on in a second, and I'll show you then why we need it on.
Running fast like a car in a hurricane.
So it's gotten a little bit more aggressive. It's gotten a little bit kind of more distorted, more kind of megaphony, but you're still getting that drop off distortion. Now, if we put modern on.
Running fast like a car in a hurricane.
You still lose a little bit of distortion, which is natural, but it's a bit smoother.
Broken bottles at my feet, can't feel the pain.
Now the EQs to kind of sort them out.
Blood pumping hot through
And that's the lo-fi
these
factor right
broken
there.
veins.
So that really has that limited frequency range.
This
air.
highway's meant for the insane.
And then smooth it out again with the compressor.
Running fast like a car in a hurricane. Broken bottles at my feet, can't feel the pain.
So now the big thing is it isn't very resonant. Now a megaphone or like a broken PA, as I'm saying. When I say broken PA, I'm talking about like an old school address system you would have had in the 70s in like a school or a jail or a library or something. Really, really kind of low tech with heaps of compression on it, that kind of thing. Is the resonance. It's really up front, and on a recording you don't want it up front like that. It's a bit unnerving. It could work for maybe something, but for what I want, it's a bit unnerving. So I've got repeater on. Now what I've got it on is the telephone preset, and now that is already lo-fi. So we're adding extra elements of that kind of lo-fi thing, and it's also going to add you a little bit of dimension. So let's off, and then I'll switch it on.
Running fast like a car in a hurricane.
It's going to bring the volume up a bit too, just so it says.
Broken bottles at my feet, can't feel the pain.
Now that could be a little too much, so you might want to change it to maybe the tape delay.
Running fast like a car in a hurricane.
And bring maybe the delay back a little bit.
Broken bottles at my feet, can't feel the pain.
We'll turn it off.
Blood pumping hot through these broken
Back on.
veins. This highway's meant for the insane.
And then we listen to it all in the mix. So let's just unsolo that. And in the mix.
Running fast like a car in a hurricane. Broken bottles at my feet, can't feel the pain.
Maybe a bit more color.
Blood pumping hot through these broken veins. This highway's meant for the insane.
So that is basically another tip just on how to do that. It's not really a tip. It's quite complex, but what I'll try and do is save this analog strip and put a link to it below so you can just bring it up if you have All Access Pass, and you just have to bring in the preset for repeater as well. And Cubase users, I could probably save a track preset. But the idea is, I mean, it's a bit complex, but I just wanted to share it. Like I said, you can do it a lot simpler. You could probably use your inbuilt plugins in your DAW to do a simpler lo-fi effect, but I wanted to go for this specific kind of thing that I had in my head. It's a bit hard to explain, but hope you enjoyed it. Maybe you use this sound. It is a very one-off particular sound I wanted in this song for these verse vocals, and it's not going to be something you're going to use all the time, but it's just an idea. Maybe you don't know what to do with a certain vocal. Do something like this and you can get some very interesting sounds. So again, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed, hit subscribe. I think at the moment 98.8% of my viewers aren't subscribed, so do subscribe. More of these kind of things coming out. Any suggestions of any little tips you want to know about, hit me up in the comments, and I'll see you next time.